Good evening. We're going to backtrack and we are going to cover 1.7 today or this evening. So kind of just a little review. It's going to be perimeter, circumference, and area. So we should remember this, but we're just going to review it and do some word problems with it to make sure we're ready and able to do the rest of Chapter 7. So our objective, students will be able to find the perimeter, rectangle, square, and circumference of circles. So perimeter is of the parallelograms, and then we call perimeter of a circle, we call that circumference. And then area, rectangle, square, and circle. So to find the perimeter of a square, we have to add up all the sides. So write these things down with me. Same thing for rectangle, add all sides. You could do for perimeter of a square, you could do 4 times the side because the square is going to have all the same sides. And then for a rectangle, the opposite sides are going to be the same, so you could do 2 times A as the first side, or let's do 2 times S, the short side, plus 2 times L, the long side. So if it was a 6, 7, 6, you'd do 2 times 6 plus 2 times 7. And then if it was 9 for each side of a square, you would do 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, or 9 times 4, which is 36. And that's for perimeter, so always put it in units. So that would be like 36 centimeters. And then area, when we do area, that'll be squared. So it'll be units squared. So this one is just units, single units, because we're just adding. This one we do a length times a width, or a base times a height, or something like that, so we will still get units or centimeters or meters, whatever the units are. And then since we're taking 2 things by each other, that would be squared. Alright, so now we have circle. Circle for the outside of a circle, or the perimeter of a circle, which we're going to call circumference, is diameter times pi. And a diameter, just to remind you, if we had a circle, it's going to be the distance all the way across the circle through the center, so a whole line there to make up the diameter. Give me 1 sec. Alright, so diameter is all the way through, diameter times pi, so over here we could write d times 3.14. We'll abbreviate pi by 3.14 for right now. Then let's move on to area. So area is all the stuff on the inside. So perimeter is rim. We're going to remember that as the stuff on the outside. Rim, or the fence. And then area is going to be all the stuff on the inside. So if it was a square, it would be all the inside stuff. If it was perimeter, it'd be all the purple line, the outside. So area is the inside. So for a square, base times height. Rectangle, base times height. For a circle, it's going to be still pi, but times radius squared. So let's do radius squared times pi. And then that would be r squared times 3.14, r, a little baby 2 up here, r squared, which means r times r, and then times pi, and we're going to let pi be 3.14, so let's get that in our notes. And then just to refresh what radius is half of a circle, so from the center to the outside. So if the whole diameter was 10, to find circumference, I'd do 10 times 3.14. And then to find the area, I would do half of 10, which is 5. I would do 5 times 5, which is 25. And then I would do 25 times 3.14. Alright, let's take a look at these example problems. A garden is a square that has 12 feet on each side. You want a 1-foot wide path around the entire garden. What will the outside of the perimeter of the path be? Alright, so I'm going to try to draw a little picture for you here with my smallest pen that I have. Okay, so if I had, here's my square, and each side is 12. And then I want to make the path 1 on the outside, so then let's let the path be red. I want the path out here, and I want it 1 foot wide around. So where it's 12, it'll be 1 foot here, 1 foot here, 1 foot here, and 1 foot here. So then if I wanted to see what the new lengths are, I have 12, and don't forget, this is a square, so all the sides are 12. So that side's 12, that side, that side, that side. So this is adding 1 foot this way and 1 foot this way. So from here to here is 12, and then this portion is going to be 1 foot and 1 foot. So 12 plus the new 1 and the new 1. 12 plus 1 plus 1, or 12 plus 2 is 14. Same thing here. This is 12. I'm going to go 1 foot this way and 1 foot this way. 14. So all the new sides are going to be 14, and then it wants perimeter. And if we look up on our paper, we can do perimeter of a square, since they're all 14, just 4 times 14, or you can do 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14. So make sure you do that, and then put your answer in feet. How much will the perimeter increase by adding the path? So you need to find the perimeter of a 12 by 12 and subtract that from what you got for A to find how much more perimeter you need. Then the area of the path, remember it's a 14 by a 14, and to get area is base times height, or length times width. So you could do 14 times 14 here. Example 2, I want you to try that one on your own. Example 3, let's talk about circle. Alright, so it says circle G has a radius of 6.5, and it labeled that on the picture. So half of it is 6.5, and it wants us to find the circumference in terms of pi. So I need to show you what that looks like, because we haven't tried that yet. Then find the circumference to the nearest tenth. So I have 6.5, and I want circumference. Circumference is pi times diameter. I don't have a diameter, I have a radius, but I could find the diameter. 6.5 plus 6.5. So we'll have pi times the diameter. 6.5 plus 6.5 is 13. And it said leave it in terms of pi. So we could write the first answer as 13 pi. And then it says, then find it to the nearest tenth. Well, if you do 13 times 3.14 times pi, find that answer, and then round it to the nearest tenth. So you should have another answer here, and then make sure you put it in centimeters. Alright, find the area in terms of pi. So now area is radius squared, radius times pi, and let's leave it in terms of pi first. So I would have 6.5, you need to do this part, squared. So do 6.5 times 6.5. and then pi. So whatever you get, when you leave it in terms of pi, you'll get blank pi. So do that on your calculator or on scratch paper. Then it says leave it to the nearest tenth. So whatever you get here for 6.5 times 6.5, then take that times 3.14 times pi and put your answer to the nearest tenth, one place after the decimal, and then it's centimeters. So it's going to be centimeters squared for area. I want you to try number 4 on your own and bring that tomorrow. Alright, let's look at 5. You have a quadrilateral with these vertices 0, 0, 2, 4, 6, negative 6, positive 8. And then C is 7, 6, 7, and then up 8. And then 2, 0, over 2, up 0. Okay, so we have this new shape, and yours should look something like mine. I'm going to try to connect my dots. Alright, so what does that look like? I would say that looks like a trapezoid. Well, it wants us to find the perimeter. So I can say, obviously, this side is 1, And then this side over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay, be careful because they're worth 2. So actually down here, give me my pen. Okay, down here it's worth 2. So that whole thing is 2 because we're counting by 2s, because it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then here it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So that one's 13. And then to find these, you need to find the distance. So you would take this point here, which is the 0, 0, the A, and then you would take this point, which is -6, which is B. You would do the distance formula with those, and then you'll do the distance formula with these two to find these both sides, and then you'll add up all the sides together. So you'll have this side plus 13 plus 2 plus this side. And so just to refresh, what is the distance formula? All right, the distance formula is x2 minus x1. So you could do, this is x and this is y, x and y. So you could say -6 minus 0 and then squared plus y2, 8 minus 0, which is just 8, square that, 64. Take the square root of all of that, and that'll be your distance for A to B. So I've included the distance formula here if you want to write that down. So once you solve for the distance of this to this, A to B, and C to D, you'll add A to B, C to D, plus 2 plus 13, and your answer is going to be just in units. All right, 6, 7, and 8. I want you to try all of those at home. I just want to remind you here that one tally is 2 centimeters, so this is 2, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2, and this is 2. And then this has 2 tallies, so it's congruent to this side, and both of those are 6 centimeters. So there's a couple ways to do this one. So you could like split them off in little pieces. Maybe you see a square and 2 pieces, or maybe you want to separate it out like this. Same thing here. You can take the whole cake and subtract the piece that Mr. Breedlove ate, or you could do it a huge rectangle here and then add these 2 pieces on. Whatever you see, just make sure it's the area and the area for those 2. And then here it says how many feet of fabric do you need, so make sure to read the question appropriately and come with this done tomorrow. Have a great evening.